Right, guys, I did make a previous video before, but unfortunately that video did not come out well. The network was bad. Unfortunately, I'm using a network that's quite problematic. However, it's very important that I make this video. I don't usually like to make two videos in the same week. However, I have to make this particular video because of how important and the timing of this particular video. Now, most of you know that I've been a very great critic of Tsitsi Masiyiwa. You know that I have criticized him on a number of aspects, and particularly the fact that I don't believe that he has developed Zimbabweans well enough to be able to advance the economic well-being of most Zimbabweans. I've been very critical about his education fund, saying that it is all good to give people education, but what really empowers people is to be able to assist them in business to become entrepreneurs that can produce, rather than just giving them education, which is usually indoctrination and theory. And right now I am coming here to say that if I'm going to be a critique based on principle, if I'm going to criticize Strive for the things that he doesn't do right, I must also be the first to stand up and give him credit when he's done something right. Particularly when he's done something to fix those things that we're criticizing him about. So I'd like to give credit right now to Tsitsi Masiyiwa and Tsitsi Masiyiwa for creating the Reimagine Rural Fund. This has been a great stride in which he is offering a revolving loan, revolving debt to be able to develop entrepreneurs that are in the rural areas of Zimbabwe and lift them up in their ideas. For me, this sits at the heart of my aspirations, because the rural communities of Zimbabwe are the ones that drive the Zimbabwean economy. But they also are the ones that don't get much from the Zimbabwean economy because they don't get the services, they don't get the loans, they don't get any facilities, yet they are the most productive people in the Zimbabwean economy. I'd like to give credit to Strive for this, and I'd like to say thank you. Thank you for listening to the people that have been asking for your hand. And thank you in a time where Zimbabwe is under sanctions for actually stepping up to the plate to offer much needed investment that currently is not coming from anywhere else in the world. Thank you for setting an example that we Zimbabweans, we the people of Zimbabwe, are the ones that are actually going to develop Zimbabwe and take Zimbabwe forward by giving a part of our own substance. You have thrown down the gauntlet not only for the business people in Zimbabwe, but for each and every individual in Zimbabwe that is much more advantaged than those that do not have. You have challenged us to take a part of our substance and to give it into developing Zimbabwe and our own dreams and aspirations. More importantly, you have started to question other business people in Zimbabwe, other people that are making money from the customers of Zimbabwe that support their businesses. You have challenged them to say, can they begin to also put a bit back into developing the communities of Zimbabwe? Now we want to see where the Shingai Mutasas, the James Makambas, the Mutumwa Maweres, are they going to step up to the plate to also give something back? And those of us that are not in business in Zimbabwe, you've also challenged us to say, are we going to do something to lift Zimbabwean lives? But you know, what actually grasps me more is that we have had a huge white minority, a white business class that has been raping and pillaging Zimbabwe over the past century. People like the Mikos who have been exploiting Zimbabweans, stealing their cows. They use the cows of black Zimbabweans to start their businesses. I think the gauntlet that you've thrown down challenges them more to say, what have they done to pay back, to pay reparations and restitution to those that they have pillaged. But now we can stand up and challenge them, because you as a black Zimbabwean have shown that you will stand up to support black Zimbabweans in the same way that other businessmen from across the world have put in their own substance to develop their own people, their own race, to advance it. Now the question that we're asking is, the Bantu Stratons, Braden Camps, the Mikos, the Mokos, what are they going to do to add to this fund to add to creating substance that is going to lift black Zimbabweans and the nation of Zimbabwe from the sanctions that it is in. It's going to take Zimbabweans giving a part of themselves, Zimbabweans coming together to contribute, to create investment funds, to create savings that are going to lift up the common Zimbabwean and turn them into entrepreneurs, other Tsitsi Masiyiwas who are going to be able to lift the nation of Zimbabwe. This does not mean that I will never have issues with Strive. I still believe that Strive must not be involved in hybridization of our seeds, but it should be involved in funding organic farming that is going to empower our farmers and empower our rural communities to be more productive and not to become captive of the biochemical companies of this world. But this is a beginning, and I need to give credit for what it is that Strive has done. And I need to say that you have created an inspiration to the message that we've been sending, that we Zimbabweans have got to raise up Zimbabwe by playing our role in making our contributions to our own communities, our own people. I've been saying for years that I would like us to start a fund where each person can put their $100, their $10, until we've got a big enough kitty for us to invest in our rural communities and our resources for us to start being productive. But you've started something, and maybe other Zimbabweans would like to make contributions to this fund that has been started. But I give credit, and I say it's a challenge to all of us, and a challenge particularly to the business community of Zimbabwe, that you cannot continue to profiteer, you cannot continue to harvest the Zimbabwean market without putting back into it. Thank you, Strive. I give you your kudos, I give you your credit, and I've got to be principled to stand up and give credit where it's due. This is a sovereign fund that has been created for Zimbabwe by a private citizen, by taking a great percentage of his own wealth so that he can give to the nation of Zimbabwe and to those that need the funding. Let us be able to utilize this to inspire us. And once again, thank you.